Top 18 production worker interview questions and answers. A production worker is an individual who operates machines on a production scale, mostly tasked with the functionality of assembly lines in factories and warehouses. Below are 18 common interview questions that can help you navigate a production manager interview successfully. 1. Why are you interested in this role? The interviewer asks this question to establish the reasons underneath your aspirations to work in this capacity. In brief, detail why you are interested in obtaining this role. Sample answer: I have worked as a production worker for 6 years in my previous role and believe I have gathered relevant experience. Experience in running different machines on a large-scale capacity in different stages along the production line. This experience, coupled with the passion I always possessed for machines, have been the driving forces towards opting for this role. 2. What are the roles of a production worker? The interviewer seeks to know if the interviewee is conversant with the job entitlement, including duties and responsibilities. The interviewee is required to highlight the responsibilities that they are expected to shoulder in this particular role. Sample answer: as a production worker, my roles include operating of machinery and equipment in the production process, including preparing items for distribution. The other roles include carrying out basic quality and testing checks. Storage of goods in a safe manner and packing goods for shipping is always part of my duties. 3. What are the qualities that a production worker need to be successful? The interviewer seeks to establish if the interviewee understands the key skills required to succeed in this particular profession. Here, a clear description of skills you possess that are in line with this role would be sufficient enough. Sample answer: I possess a number of core skills required for this role. Firstly, flexibility is essential since a production worker is expected to fulfill a number of roles from operating machines to the end process of packaging and assembling. Punctuality is also necessary for ensuring processes start in time and materials are always readily available. Always being attentive is vital since a slight mishap along the production line can derail the whole production process. 4. What major challenges did you face during your last role? How did you manage them? The interviewer asks this question with a view of understanding the difficulties, if any, that the interviewer experienced in this role and how they were able to solve these problems. Identify a situation where you were faced with a challenging situation and resolved it. Sample answer: as a production worker, I have faced numerous challenges, both work-related and off-work. The biggest issue I had was with the monotony of work, which after a period made it a bit boring. This was resolved by the supervisor after discussions where it was decided that rotations will be made along the production line. This benefited me since I was able to sharpen my skills in different sections of production. 5. Describe your daily routine as a production worker. The interviewer expects that as a production worker the interviewee ought to be conversant with the daily routine of a professional in this role. Briefly explain some of your routine chores on a normal working day. Sample answer: in my previous role, I began my day at 6 a.m. since work started at 7 a.m. On arrival at the workstation, I worked in the attendance register. I put on my overalls and proceed to the packaging section where I operate the forklift. I put the forklift until midday, where I break for 1 hour until we resume work at 2 p.m. My day ends at 5 p.m. where after cleaning I check out. 6. Describe briefly about your experience. The interviewer seeks to establish the interviewee's education and professional background to determine how qualified they are. In detail explain your educational background, including your relevant academic and professional qualifications. Sample answer: I did my high school diploma at Highbury High School and proceeded to apply for my high-risk work license at the Jacobs Institute, where I acquired my license to operate forklifts. I then obtained employment as a forklift operator in my current job and have worked for 6 years. I also on occasion have been rotated to work machinery in the initial production stages. 7. What kind of strategy and mindset is required for this role? The interviewer here wants to ascertain the interviewee's mindset and strategies and how well it's suited for this role. Explain what you feel can be essential in this type of role. Sample answer: for any production organization to be effective in their production, time consciousness is a key mindset that has to in every employee so the production line won't stagnate due to incompetence. Over the years I have been working in this role, I have learned to be time sensitive so as to better the quality of my work, and I can boast of being keen and attentive to detail as per my excellent record in my earlier position. Teamwork is also a necessity since we operate with co-workers in shifts, and thus sharing the work responsibility is of utmost importance for greater output. 8. What is the biggest challenge that you foresee in this role? Here the interviewer wants to see how you view challenges and your strategies in dealing with them. Speak about the most challenging part you face as a production worker. Sample answer. Since I operate in a die casting plant, I'm definitely going to work with molten aluminum most of my shifts. This is very dangerous if not handled properly. Cuts, burns, bruises and even loss of life are the risks involved. However, I believe effective measures are in place to ensure the safety of the worker, such as the use of personal protective equipment, especially for your area of work. 9. How do you stay motivated in your work? Motivation is key for effectiveness, especially in a production company. Workers' daily motivation helps boost the flow of work. Briefly describe what keeps you motivated in your daily routine. Sample answer. I have always been a car enthusiast, and working in a car production line has been a dream come true for me, though I don't get to enjoy the luxury of most of these automobiles. The joy I get from contributing to the transformation of these parts into fantastic automobiles that would bring joy and comfort to someone else gives me the drive required every day. 10. Describe a time when you failed in this role and the lesson you learned. Interviewers may use this question to determine your failures and problem-solving abilities. Speak about incidences in your career where you made a mistake, and the lessons you learned. Sample answer. I had been an unskilled laborer in one position I held 3 years ago. At the time, on one occasion I was asked to man a computerized operator and obliged, even though I lacked the expertise in handling such machinery. My ignorance led to a huge mishap and the production line halted for nearly an hour. Even though I got suspended for a while, I made a decision to add to my expertise so as to be competitive in these changing times. 11. Why do you feel you are the most suited for this role? The interviewer here wants to know why they should hire you. Mention your skills and strengths that should make them choose you over the other candidates. Talk about your experience and why this job suits you the most. Sample answer. I can say my ability to work well with others and my attentiveness, especially in a production line, are handy in creating a smooth and healthy working environment. But physicality is very crucial in this line of work, and as you can see, I'm quite a well-built person, and with my strength and experience I happen to be a strong candidate for this position. 12. Share with us your greatest achievement. The interviewer may want to know about the most significant achievement in your career. Talk about any incident where your efforts were praised and you felt it was a success. Sample answer. After working for 6 years as a manual laborer, I decided to build my skill level. I was certified 2 years after, but getting a better position as a production line supervisor was tougher than I had expected. But I got an offer that I couldn't resist, supervising the production of an exotic car. I believe my work on the engineering and the mechanizations of the exotic car was a major breakthrough in the technological advancement of automotive mechanics. 13. What are the factors that impact the process of manufacturing? Research on every aspect of manufacturing and production is essential because the interviewer may ask this question to learn your understanding of the manufacturing process in an organization. Answer this question highlighting your knowledge on effective production. Sample answer. Motivation is vital in this sector, and finding the preferred people who are motivated and have the work ethic to perform the job well is essential. People, equipment, and supplies all impact the manufacturing process. Regular checkups on the machinery and equipment of work are essential in ensuring the process runs smoothly and does not hinder the production process. Another issue is dealing with tight timelines, since some products are always required urgently. Therefore, maintaining the right balance between processing raw materials and receiving new ones is crucial. This can also be achieved through us workers working overtime to meet these deadlines. 14. Can you describe a situation where your work ethics were tested? If yes, how did you react? Ethics are a fundamental ingredient of any working environment. Here the interviewer is keen to determine how you uphold your value when called upon. Answer candidly by describing a situation that required ethical considerations. Sample answer. I had my ethics put to test while tasked with operating the treadmill at work. My co-worker was a middle-aged woman who honestly kept coercing me despite the fact that she was married. Also, it was a violation of the company's laws to engage in any sort of sexual relationship with a co-worker. I kept declining her advances, but she never bothered to retreat. I was in dilemma but finally made the right call and reported the matter to the supervisor. She was transferred to a different section and I got another coworker. 15. What type of machines and equipment are you familiar with in your line of work? The interviewer seeks to understand the interviewer's experience in handling machines and equipment. The ability to operate a wide range of machines and equipment is an added advantage. Briefly discuss the various types of machines you are capable of operating. Sample answer. I operated a variety of machines in my previous role as a metal fabricator at D&Y manufacturers. The drilling machine was a common one. This machine had a drill press that was stationary in nature and provided minimal exertion while drilling. The other machine was a honing machine, especially the handheld one. This machine enabled the enlargement of holes to precise diameters. I also operated browsing machines when applying linear shearing and scraping motions to materials. 16. In your role, share with us an experience where you helped improve production quality. This question is technical in nature, whereby the interviewer seeks to understand your reliability, knowledge, and creativity in your line of the worker. Explain any scenario where you utilized machines and production techniques to better a product. Sample answer. I recall one occasion which proved fruitful as I requested the supervisor that we use planers for shaping flat or long surfaces instead of milling machines. This is because even though milling machines are still beneficial in most applications, planers are more efficient when large metal components require squaring off. This led to the shaping of extremely large metal components and with ease. 17. What are your weaknesses? The interviewer may ask this question to understand the interviewee's shortcomings and how they strive to limit them. Identify any weaknesses you possess and how you have been able to cope with them. Sample answer. In the early stages of my career, I had problems with being too focused on details and fine margins. This is because even from a tender age I always desired perfection. With time I learned how to let go and not be drawn too much onto the side details of my job. That way I can still ensure quality without getting caught up in slender margins. Another weakness that always overshadows my input is my low esteem. I always let my work do the talking and shy away from the limelight. This has been a weakness but also a key point in enabling my work with minimal fuss and meet even the tightest of deadlines. However, I am a social person, though I prefer a great deal of privacy. 18. Are you comfortable working under pressure? The interviewer would want to ensure that the candidate can maintain his focus even under high pressure and stressful situations. Describe how you cope with pressure and the methods you utilize to always deliver under such circumstances. Sample answer. I always function well under pressure thanks to my strong mentality, where in most circumstances the higher the stakes the more focused I become. This is due to my belief in the philosophy that the tougher the battle the sweeter the victory. On one occasion my co-worker went on maternity leave and for 1 week I was forced to double down on my working hours. It was hectic and stressful, but I was able to finish up the pending projects before a replacement was brought in the following week.